I can hear you.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm switching computers right now, and so everything is, a lot of my programs are on the other computer, and hardware and stuff is on that one. I'm not used to using this, but we're gonna go with it.
Definitely understand. Yep.
We're gonna go with it and just. So what's going on? I've seen you up in New York and stuff like that.
Yeah, so what happened is anytime a person has a film project, whether it's a movie, a short, or a series idea, or even a podcast, you present that project on basically filmfreeway.com. And what that is it's basically the door that allows all of the festivals across the world to see your project. And so we put Destination Marfa on Film Freeway, and all of a sudden we started getting alerts that this became one of the highest percentages of films being picked up in festivals for 2021. So I was like, what is going on? And before I knew it, this thing had gotten picked up by Montreal, Toronto, Manhattan, Athens, Greece, Los Angeles, and it's just, and we're not even done yet. We've got 20 more we're entered in. However, on August 3rd, this movie gets distributed, so I had to cut off all festivals at that point. So we're almost done with the festival circuit.
Yeah. Well, and then so that takes you to, you can have some kind of distribution like these private screenings, that are going on. Where are you at with all that?
Yeah, so Destination Marfa kind of got, it's completely backwards the way this deal worked out. Normally, an independent film goes through the circuit of festivals looking for a distributor. Destination Marfa got picked up by a distributor before we ever even went to the festival. So this is all kind of completely backwards. But basically what happened is Athens, Greece picked it up. Manhattan picked it up. So the domestic United States release for Destination Marfa was Manhattan there in New York City, which was about 10 days ago. The world release was in Toronto, which was June 13th. So this movie is moving across the United States, headed west. And so it went through Manhattan, Montreal, Toronto, and then we're going to go on. It's going to go down through Texas here, of course. And then we're going to move on out to L.A. July 23rd and do the West Coast premiere. So it's kind of on a move. It's kind of on a circuit before it gets distributed August 3rd.
Right. And so you're going to be premiering this thing in Lubbock on July 20th.
Yeah, and this premiere here is where I actually have control of it. I'm looking forward to this one because the other ones, I'm out of my element. I'm in New York City or Toronto or Montreal or LA. This particular one is where I get to have a little control and actually bring a red carpet affair to the locals. And that night we had 2 showings, although the 7 p.m. is rapidly it's rapidly going fast. So we're really at a point now where the 9 p.m. is going to be our last resort to see this film at a premiere here. It's basically a private viewing with the cast, which makes it special.
This is actually kind of a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. You can see this film in the theater, on the big screen.
Yeah, for sure. And people all their lives have watched these big premieres happen on TV where the celebrities roll out the red carpet and walk down it and they take pictures there with the backdrop. And so this is really, honestly, like you said, a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a lot of people, especially in this area where filming doesn't happen very often, to be a part of that. And, for the cast to be there, such as Tony Todd and stuff like that, that makes this very unique and special, especially for, say, older generations who know him as Candyman, or these younger generations who know him from Riverdale or, Final Destination. So,
yeah,
very unique and rare opportunity to take photos with the cast. And actually, I'll be setting up a table where we'll actually have a question and answering session with the cast, along with 3 of the musicians that helped score or specifically designed and produced music for this film. So
I'm so proud of you, and you representing the 806. I came in, when you had just finished filming in Plainview, and we had that little interview down there in Lockney. People don't even know about, that was a recording that didn't even make it, but I've been following this whole thing and just watching you manifest this whole thing, and it inspires me, because a lot of us in media, we work really hard. People don't really get, I seen that post that you sent me that talks about, you've watched this thing, 300 plus times or whatever you said,
it's an unbelievable amount of time. It's a journey. It's ridiculous what it takes to get this film where it was, and the phenomenon of it all is that when I began writing in 2011, of course, any project anybody ever starts, you never have any idea how far it's really going to go. But dude, this has gone way further than I ever thought it would, and to win, especially as a first-time filmmaker, something that I'm very, very proud of. I really am, and that is to take away the Manhattan award that we received. We received Best Horror. Although this is not a horror film, it's considered sci-fi. They marketed it that way because it's a draw to Tony Todd.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I figured immediately that it had to do with just because Tony Todd is in it,
Yes, and they gave us what they call Film Hills Award. And that's something that I just learned of yesterday. And basically what that means is that, if you could produce a movie that maybe possibly has a great meaning or something that might touch somebody's heart or something like that, that's what this award is for. And that was important to me because when I wrote this film has a purpose. And you're not going to know it until the last, literally last 4 minutes. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And I was scared to death that people wouldn't get it. And they're understanding it. Manhattan understood it. Janel Spiegel, which is a major film critic and a film writer for a lot of different horror magazines and blogging, she said that she said, Andy, I want to give you a hug for writing this film. It reminds me that I'm human. It reminds me that I have feelings, and I really appreciated that because I'm hoping that the message that I have through this film is going to actually reveal itself, and it sounds like it will. So I'm very proud of that award. That's for a first-time filmmaker. That's a big deal. Now I don't know how I did it. It's still surreal to me, but we pulled it off.
You started this thing. It was a seed that started in your mind and in your heart, and you manifested it. And we're all behind you, man. We are behind you. Because, I feel like with this movie, and just what I've seen behind the scenes, I feel like your heart really got in it, it transmuted into everything, all parts of the movie. And so that is a really hard thing that people, a lot of these producers and directors, go years of movies before they get that feeling, so I think I don't know.
It was definitely this was definitely a passion project, and thank goodness for those who got involved. It was a passion project for them as well. People like you who started following this, the support that you give me, the support that the 806 gave me, the support that Plainview gave me when we were filming is more than I could ever ask for, and it's very humbling. And I really want people who follow this project to know that if I can do it, I promise you anybody who's got an idea out there can do it as well. All it is just doing it. And that's really what people need to know. I'm nothing special. It's just that I am determined. I'm hard-headed. But if a person's got a project and they're very determined, there's nothing that can stop them. I just want to remind everybody that we all have this capability. And the support is phenomenal.
And it's that Aries in you now. It's in us. We're driven. We're like.
Yeah, and Aries is it's either it's a curse most of the time, but then sometimes it can be really good for you.
Well, I know one thing. I see your work ethic, and it inspires me. And and I'm a hard worker too. And it's like people don't get that. They just want to ride in on this stuff. But the reality of it is is you're manifesting this because you put the work in. And I've seen you, a year ago up at, 2 o'clock in the morning editing and working on this thing. You have worked your rear end off to get this done, and you're still working on it. I mean, we just talked about this yesterday. You're still doing things,
Yeah, I keep thinking that it's all, when the film finally hit the festivals, I kind of breathed for the first time in 3 years, and since we filmed it, I thought, wow, I'm finally there. And then all of a sudden the distributor will contact me and say, hey, man, we're going to need you to start getting closed captioning ready for August 3rd. I'm like, okay. So it's just like, does this ever end? It's so overwhelming. It's kind of like back to what you were saying. You don't realize what it takes in media to make even something as simple as a 2-minute video. You don't realize how many times you've got to watch it. It's unreal.
Listening to the audio, listening to the audio on different systems, and it's a lot of work.
That if you're going to make a film, do a short film first if you're smart. Well, I wasn't smart. I jumped off into a full 90-minute full feature. So
yeah,
I've learned a lot. So it has been a journey that I'm glad I took. Very frustrating at times, but it looks like it's going to be rewarding at the things that it's won, and the fact that it's 9 out of 10 independent films do not get distributed. That's how rare it is. So I'm sitting in a very unique opportunity. I've been blessed.
And you're sitting in it's almost like you're sitting in a particular part of history. We're in between. It's kind of like what Napster was to music, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like the movie, I'm in the cable industry, and I talk to the cable guys all the time. They go into these houses, and they're like, man, we're not hooking any cable up anymore. All we're hooking up is internet. And all these, we walk in a house, and they're watching TV on their iPods, and, or they're watching movies on their phones. Like no one's really... this thing is just changing, to the point that I think you're in that, not only what you just said about that being a rarity, because there's not that many movies. I mean, the first American movie after COVID is Unhinged with Russell Crowe.
Yes, and I watched that. Yeah, you're right. Things are changing because, for one, the youth nowadays, their attention span is tied into TikTok and stuff like that. They're 20-second videos or whatever.
Right.
And theater, although movies will still go to theaters, but that is changing. The formula is changing so much so that it's going to like straight to streaming and like HBO Max, which is a great opportunity for filmmakers because it's for instance, Steven Spielberg hated on Netflix, hated on it, and the reason why he hated on it is because all of a sudden movies that were independent that never made it to the theater are now being awarded in the same ceremony as his high-end, high-budget movies. And now all of a sudden he's had to take a bite. If you'll notice this in the last 10 days, he's came out and decided he's going to sign a contract with Netflix because the independent world is winning. And that's what I love about the way the world is changing now.
Absolutely.
It allows nobodies like me to compete with people like him.
Why?
Well, I won't or be able to, but it does allow that avenue, and I really appreciate that, man.
It's that underground climate, man. It's like growing up in the me growing up in the '80s as a metal kid. We were like, just unwanted, outcast. But there's always that remnant out there, that wants something different, something underground. And that's another thing I love about this movie too, is just from what I've seen, it's like there's this kind of an underground vibe to it, and
it's got a weird feel to it. I was nervous in Manhattan to watch it. I'm really going to be nervous in the Texas premiere because that's some of my home crowd, and I'm going to have to be under the scrutiny and kind of sit there, in a chair and watch this amongst people that I know. And it'll be good for me, but this movie is a narrative film. It's very, very different. Hollywood has had a hard time deciding what genre it should go in, but it's different because it's got this weird kind of a John Hughes kind of feel. At the same time, it's very Twilight Zone-ish. It's got a lot of narrative to it, so you've got to follow a story. But I think nowadays that's what Hollywood is missing. Really seriously, does the next Batman or the next Spider-Man really have a story? No. It's all about VFX. So the independent world has a very unique opportunity to bring actual stories that are really in depth. And I feel that this one does. It has a lot of Easter eggs in it as you watch it. In fact, one guy said after the Manhattan viewing, he said, I'm anxious to watch it again because I can see now a lot of things that were said. They meant something in the very beginning, and that's how this film is. And so, if a person's looking for action or romance, they're going to miss that. It's not going to be in this film.
Right,
but if they're looking for a good story that's got a huge twist and a great meaning in the end, that I think will touch their hearts, I think this is one they should come to. I really do. Which brings me to the next thing, something that I would love to do is a payback to Plainview. And through your, and I was looking at that, the phenomenal job that you've done, credit to you for, I think you're probably one of the largest groups for Plainview. How many members do you have now?
I think it's like 5,200 now.
But that's crazy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean that's a huge audience. And what I'd like to do, Adam, is give away. I've got 4 tickets that I could give away, 2 and 2, maybe for 2 different couples. And what I'll promise with these tickets, if you would like to give those to your or run you a promotion, is that I'll promise that they'll get to take photographs with the cast and question them and be a part of the red carpet affair. So.
Because it's going to come, there'll be 2 drawings, and each drawing will be 2 tickets. So it's for you and your significant other or whoever you want to bring, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
So yeah. Okay. So we'll do 2 drawings, and we'll do them a week from today. I'll post the details on how to get into the drawing.
And whoever wins, we'll send digital tickets to them. And the way I understand it is the Lubbock news channels will also be there. So it'll have, so to speak, a kind of a paparazzi feel to it. So we're trying to bring, that Hollywood feel to this. And that's the best thing I know to do to give back to the communities that have helped me, and that is to, have a giveaway.
So where do you go from here? Where after Lubbock, you said you're going. It is going through other cities in Texas, though, right?
Yes, it'll be Lubbock, July 20th, and then it's almost immediately, like 2 days later, July 23rd, it goes right into LA, and that'll be the West Coast premiere.
Okay.
And from there, we're going to be real close to the cutoff date. So, because August 3rd is when distribution tells me we have to end this. And I hate that because we are actually in 20 more festivals, and it's being picked up by quite a few. And I'd really like to, those are kind of accolades for a filmmaker and for cast. And I'd love to keep, when you take a movie poster, you get to pin those as badges, so to speak, kind of like a military award on your poster. And I'd like to just keep doing that, but we can't. August 3rd, we got to quit. So. Right.
I'm just looking so forward to watching this. I mean, I've been waiting right alongside with you.
Adam, you've been pretty faithful with it, man. And I was going to tell you, I thank you because you've done a lot of different interviews, a lot of stuff on this, man. So.
And stuff that people don't know about. That's the thing about it. Recordings that never made it. But it is so cool, man. You guys can. I'm going to post a link in the description where you guys can go and this is outside of Straight Out of Plainview, but you guys can find out more about the tickets and how to get where the location and so forth. In wrapping up, man, anything else that going on? And I know you're doing a lot of TikTok stuff. What else is going on?
Yeah, that's something that I probably should have discovered at 18 instead of 46, but I've really enjoyed it. It's I don't know, it's kind of unique. I'm having a good time with it, but it's been fun, man. I think some people think I've lost my mind, which is totally okay.
But it's all right. I mean, we went through in 2020. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we've been through a lot, and you're seeing people running around without masks. I mean, this world is going crazy, man.
It is. Hey, dude, I'll tell you something. In New York, I was expecting them to hammer me with masks. I was never once asked to put that mask on anywhere. Now, I don't know if that's because they're vaccinated and they believe in it, or they just put I don't know what the deal is. All I know is that I was not harassed at all, and I couldn't believe it. It was great.
That is so weird, huh?
It is.
That's crazy.
It really was. Now, it was a dead zone there, though. I mean, we went ahead and rented a car. I mean, normally you can't drive in New York to save your life. I mean, there's no point. But when I saw the traffic there, we rented a car, and I mean, it was like driving around in Lubbock. But he worse. I couldn't believe it. Never seen it like that.
Well, I'm going to wish you success and, and good luck in your future endeavors. I'll see you on the 20th.
All right.
All right.
Adam, thank you very much, man. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for this. Appreciate it.
You bet. Talk to you later.
All right, man. Bye.
That was Andy Stapp, director, producer of Destination Marfa, filmed in Plainview, Texas. The year was 2019. So for the drawing, what we'll do is I will post a red background or, one of these text boxes, and it'll be in red, and that's how you'll know. And in the comment, put your name in there. So, and that's how you'll enter in. And then next week, I'll screenshot that, print that up, and then cut little strips out, throw it in a bowl, and I'll draw 2 names and the 2 people that will get 2 tickets. So, anyway, guys, thanks a lot for checking this out, and happy 4th to everybody.